What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back. Guys, we've got another timed edition pre-order window open from Mondo Toys for the Masters of the Universe character, ORKO. Now, we're right in the timed slot right now, so I wanted to bring this video to you guys about as fast as I could. There is a history section at the beginning of this video up until about the 6-minute and 45-second mark. If you're just here to hear about the timed window and look at the character only, skip to that portion of the video. Otherwise, if you guys are interested in a little bit of history on ORKO as well as my thoughts on the character, the 1/6 scale version from Mondo Toys, stick around. If you guys like the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, and let's get into it.
I give you Ben Thomas Showtime. Here we go.
Okay guys, so welcome back. So like we've done in the past videos, let's give a really brief history on who ORKO is as a character, just in case you're not familiar with him, and then we're going to take a look at the Mondo Toys 1/6 scale offering that's a timed edition currently, so is worthy of having a little urgency if this is a character that you're interested in. So ORKO, he is a fictional character, of course, from the Masters of the Universe franchise. Now ORKO is a sorcerer and is the last of his kind. Now ORKO is definitely best known from the 80s animated series, but we have seen him make a return even in the most recent Masters of the Universe Revelation that was on Netflix. Now, I didn't love that show, to be honest, but ORKO became popular again with that show as a new generation of fans were created for the character. But for this specific figure that we're going to look at from Mondo today, it harkens back a lot more to the 80s cartoon, if you're asking me. Now, ORKO was not actually part of the original toy collection back in the 1980s show either, which is something that's really interesting to note. Now, the cool thing about ORKO was that he was always kind of meant, in my opinion, for the kid audience, right? There was the slightly older audience that could enjoy the He-Man and the action and the storyline and everything that was going on with Skeletor and all of that, whereas ORKO was often asked to do his chores and get ready for bed and essentially the kid version of the character, right? The message is that they wanted the children watching to learn morality, all of those things, were often kind of streamed through the ORKO character. Now, ORKO was first introduced in the 1983 animated series. ORKO, his race is called Trollin, the race being from Trolla, a world in another dimension. The Trollans wear red robes, red hats, and they hide their faces between hats and behind scarves. In Trollan society, showing one's face to each other is considered an intimate act, similar to humans sharing a kiss. A production drawing of ORKO without his hat showed him resembling a little blue elf, which the figure actually gives us here from Mondo, which I'm excited to see. Now, ORKO does reveal his face eventually in an episode called Dawn of Dragoon, but his face is not visible to the audience. Though his shadow indicates he is bald, Trollans appear to be blue-skinned humanoids with pointy ears. However, their feet remain hidden under their robes. Trollans have natural magical abilities as well, including levitation, which they use exclusively instead of walking. And in one episode, ORKO temporarily loses the power of levitation and can be seen crawling around on his knees. ORKO has had troubles with magical powers. The reoccurring joke in the series is that almost every time he tries to use magic, it backfires in an amusing way. The reason for this is not totally clear, but in one episode it suggested that Trolla operates with natural laws that are opposite of Eternia's, and in Trolla, ORKO was a good magician. However, in later episodes, this is kind of contradicted. In fact, ORKO is shown to be equally incompetent even in Trolla. So another episode indicates that ORKO possessed a magical pendant that allows him to use magic correctly, and he then later lost it. So the amulet turned up stuck in the back of a dinosaur, resurrected by Skeletor, and when ORKO got the amulet back to erase the happening events, it goes back on the dinosaur before it all happens. Now, one of the other cool parts of his magic is that ORKO stores an impossibly large plethora of items inside his hat. Some useful and definitely some that are not so useful. But ORKO came to Eternia when a cosmic storm accidentally transported him there. Now, he appeared in the tar swamp where he found the young Prince Adam and his pet Cringer. Now, at the time, he was a tiger cub and saved them both from dying in the tar. However, he lost his pendant in the process after colliding with a tree. Stuck on Eternia, Orko was made a royal buffoon for the king of Eternia, in gratitude for having saved his son, but Orko becomes one of Adam's closest friends, in fact, and Orko knows that Adam is secretly He-Man. It is revealed in the season 1 episode of Masters of the Universe that Orko followed Prince Adam to Castle Grayskull, thus knowing He-Man and Prince Adam's true identity. Now, Orko frequently annoys the Man-at-Arms, which is one of my favorite character dynamics in the show, due to his magic consistently backfiring, and Orko is coming into the lab unexpected and uninvited and messing with his equipment, so when it gets on Man-at-Arms' nerves, rather than amusing him as it does others, it kind of pisses him off, which I think is hilarious most of the time. Orko does, to me, have a bit of an annoying voice, though, so sometimes it doesn't play well, and it's a little on the sarcastic side for me. But I would say he is also a little on the clueless side. Now, Orko wonders how useful he is to He-Man, but despite his apparent cowardliness, he never fails to help those in need. And also, throughout the series, Adam and He-Man, obviously combined, is constantly in Orko's debt for saving his life when he was a child. Now, it's also important to mention that at least on 2 occasions, He-Man has also helped Orko regain his magical powers. Orko returns to Trolla with the help of others on a number of occasions. First time, he helps He-Man save the lives of several Trollans captured by one of Skeletor's allies, a human dragon named Dragoon. And again, going back to that first episode that we were talking about earlier, and begins a romance with a Trollan girl named Dree-El. Now, he decides that his place is now Eternia and returns there. However, he still occasionally visits his friends and relatives on Trolla. Now, the reason I wanted to give you guys that backstory really quickly was that, of course, this plays directly into what we're looking at for the Mondo figure, and this is a timed pre-order window for this character. So on the Mondo Shop website, the timed pre-order window is available from January 23rd at 12 p.m. Central Time through January 30th at 11:59 a.m. Central Time. So we're right in that window now, guys, okay? Now, some of the inclusions for this figure include here, based on what it says in the description, the 1/6 scale Orko figure comes complete with a scepter, fabric robe, as well as a slew of swappable hands and portraits, including the never-before-produced unmasked Orko, which is what we talked about earlier in the history portion of the character. Now, this figure also provides a first glimpse at Orko's legs. And yes, Orko has legs. And as an added bonus, in addition to the main figure, the Deluxe Timed Edition features Orko Classic and Dree-El, minifigures, and stands, plus Orko's playmate, Daimar the Demon. Love to see that. And I gotta say, I'm really impressed by all the photos we've been looking at while we went through the history section and the character section here. I love that Mondo is giving us soft touch material. We saw that recently on the Prince Adam figure as well, and it hides some of those ugly joints, you know, for the people who don't like that look. I think that that's really great. The other thing that I really like about Orko here is that they've given us lots of different swappability. Now, the price point is still a bit of a sticking point for me. $235 for a 6-inch figure does feel a little on the high side, especially because he is mostly made of plastic. But he does come with a ton of stuff, and if you love the character, if you always felt like he was kind of the glue that kept a lot of the characters together, I think it's a great offering from Mondo. To be honest, the Mondo Masters of the Universe He-Man line has been easily one of the most filled lines I've ever seen from a lot of companies. That recent Skeletor we got was excellent in my opinion. I loved the He-Man when I got that in my hands. Orko is going to pair incredibly well in your Masters of the Universe line if you have this line set up already. I've seen collectors showing me their Battle Cat and their Panther and their Skeletor and their He-Mans and all of the other characters that we've had so far. And to be honest, in my opinion, Orko in a lot of ways is the glue that kept the series together, right? And I loved that about this character. Will I pick this up? I'm very much on the fence, I'm not gonna lie. Mostly for collection space, but also for the cost. If this had come in at more of a 165 to even max 180 range, I'd be a little bit more tempted, but $235 American when I'm here in Canada, that's pushing $300 for this figure, and before customs, which is a little tricky. Now, from Mondo's website, it does advertise free shipping to the United States, Canada, and UK, so if you do get it directly from them, that shipping cost at least is eliminated for us here in Canada. But at the same time, there's still that risk of customs charges and all of the above. So for $300, yeah, it's a tough nut to swallow. I don't know if I'll be able to justify it, but the main purpose of this video, guys, is to educate you a little bit on the character if you don't know who the heck this guy was or is, and to let the people out there know that this is a timed edition. So with Mondo, as we always are aware, don't drag your feet. Most of the time, these do sell out, and once they're sold out, they're incredibly hard to find after the fact. Even if we got a reissue of an Orko in the future, he would likely not come with many of the accessories here. This does look like they're saying this is the deluxe version, so we may still see another standard edition at some point, but I would imagine it will be a lot more stripped down. Now, is that still the version that maybe I'll seek? Maybe that's in that 160 to 180 range? Yeah, maybe. That's a possibility. But guys, I would love to hear from you guys down below in the comments. Is this something you guys are picking up? Why? Why not? Do you have the Masters of the Universe section in your display already, and Orko is literally just one that's missing? I'd love to hear from you guys. Also, what are your thoughts on the price point? Do you think we'll see the standard release like we have seen with others? I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are below. But otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, and we'll catch you on the next one.